歡迎各位傳媒朋友出席今日港鐵公司。
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you all to the 2022 MTRC results announcement. Before we begin, let's take a photo call. So please, will the management please look to the left? And now, please look towards the center of the room. And then, please look to the right. Once again, please look at the front of the room. And if all the photographers have now finished, please, those at the front, will you please stoop a little bit so that your colleagues at the back can also take the photos. So, those of you who have already taken your photos at the front, please now, give room to those at the back to take the photos. Now, please look at the cameras again. The photographers at the front, please move aside a little bit to give room to those colleagues at the back. All right, I think. Okay, please, would the management please also look towards the back of the room? Is it all right for those photographers at the back? I think that's it. Thank you very much. Perhaps we can now take one more photo. Thank you. So thank you very much. I'll now invite the Chief Executive and our management to take their seats. And I now give the floor to Ms. Linda Choi, our Corporate Affairs and Branding Director. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Linda Choi, Corporate Affairs and Branding Director of the company. I'd like to welcome you all to the 2022 results announcement of the MTRC. Today is the first time that we have an on-site press conference. We're very pleased to meet you all here. Let me first of all introduce to you our corporate representatives. Sitting in the middle, we have Dr. Jacob Kam, our Chief Executive Officer. To his right, we have Ms. Jenny Yeung, Transport Director Services, and also Dr. Tony Lee, Operation Director, and also Mr. Carl Devlin, Capital Works Director. To Dr. Kam's left, we have our Financial Director, Mr. Herbert Hui, and Mr. David Tang, Properties and International Business Director. The results announcement today will be conducted in Chinese. Dr. Kam will first of all give you a highlight of the company's performance in 2022. Following that, Mr. Herbert Hui will give you the financial highlights. Dr. Lam will then next share with you the business outlook for the company. Following that, there will be a Q&A session. With now further ado, I now defer to Dr. Kam.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the MTR Corporation's Annual Results 2022 press conference. As the pandemic prevention measures are easing gradually, I am so happy today that we can meet face-to-face with you all today as we did at results announcements in the past. In 2022, the fifth wave of COVID posed severe challenges to the community. MTR colleagues stood united to keep cities moving and provide quality services to Hong Kong and the cities we serve in the mainland China and overseas. In May 2022, the East Rail Line extended its services to Hong Kong Island, which was well received by the public. The service also provides more convenience for people traveling between Hong Kong and Shenzhen, and in the same month in London, the central operating section of the Elizabeth Line operated by the corporation commenced service. Phase 3 of Beijing Metro Line 16 also started its operation at the end of the year. In addition, the 93 new trains purchased by the corporation for urban lines, also known as Q trains, have been gradually delivered. The first of these trains was put into service on the Kwun Tong line last November, and the operation is smooth so far. Stepping into 2023, society is gradually returning to normal. Cross-boundary services of Lok Ma Chau Station and the high-speed rail Hong Kong section and Lo Wu Station have been resumed. In February of the year, the average daily patronage of cross-boundary railway services and high-speed rail Hong Kong section reached almost half of the pre-pandemic level. With increasing number of travelers and visitors, the patronage of Airport Express has also been rebounding since the end of last year. In 2022, our recurrent business profit was about 160 million Hong Kong dollars. Property development profit was 10.5 billion Hong Kong dollars. A loss of 810 million Hong Kong dollars arising from fair value measurement of investment properties was recorded. As a result, the net profit attributable to shareholders of the corporation for the year was 9.8 billion Hong Kong dollars. EBIT from Hong Kong transport operations in 2022 recorded a loss of 4.7 billion Hong Kong dollars. In the 3 years of the pandemic, the total EBIT loss of transport operations has exceeded 14 billion Hong Kong dollars. A larger property development profit in 2022 came from the booking of profits from a number of property projects. And this profit is non-recurrent. We need to make substantial investments in railway operation and asset maintenance every year, as well as new railway development in Hong Kong to maintain our world-class service. The corporation always strives to support the community. Apart from providing ongoing fare concessions during the pandemic, the corporation also provided additional relief measures, including fare concessions, no fare adjustments or fare reduction under the fare adjustment mechanism for our passengers, and rental reductions or waivers for our tenants to ride through the difficult times together. The relevant fare and rental concessions amounted to billions of Hong Kong dollars. Our colleagues strive to maintain professional service. Last year, in local transport operations, we managed to keep train service delivery and passenger journeys on time for our heavy rail network at a world-class level of 99.9%. We also keep upgrading our facilities. A new train, which was put into service on the Kwun Tong line last November, has provided passengers with an enhanced traveling experience. As of now, 4 new trains have been put into service and the overall operation is smooth. The signaling system replacement is another important asset renewal project. The corporation is making every effort to push forward the relevant works, and 4 urban lines will gradually adopt the new signaling system in the future. To support the government's strategy for the future development of Hong Kong, the corporation is also moving ahead with new railway projects at an investment of over 100 billion Hong Kong dollars. In addition to the project planning and management, it is also very important to plan and manage the capital requirements of the future railway network. The corporation signed the project agreement with the government on the Tung Chung Line extension last week. This project, together with Oyster Bay Station, the Tuen Mun South Extension, and Kutong Station on the East Rail Line, are all expected to gradually commence construction this year, and we have started the advance works of these projects. The Hung Shui Kiu Station project has been gazetted in February of the year, and our team will endeavour to advance these projects in an orderly manner. In respect of property development, we continued the pre-sale of the Southside Packages 1 and 2 and Lohas Park Packages 10 and 11 last year. The contracts for the Pak Shing Kok Ventilation Building Property Development and Tung Chung Traction Substation Property Development have also been awarded. Subject to market conditions, the Oyster Bay Packages 1 and 2 and Tung Chung East Station Package 1 development are expected to be tendered in the next 12 months. Over the years, while building railway lines under the Rail Plus property development model, the corporation has been able to support Hong Kong to build new communities and inject vitality into old districts. Railway construction requires a substantial and long-term investment. On top of that, we also need to invest in railway operation, maintenance, and asset replacement and upgrades. The RNP model helps the corporation maintain its financial stability and long-term sustainability. Subject to project requirements and the development strategy of the government, the corporation will adopt the R+P development model or other suitable financing arrangements for new railway projects to speed up the construction and support the development of Hong Kong. With a commitment to creating a safe, accessible, and customer-centric traveling environment, we have applied technology in our businesses to promote social inclusion and smart mobility. We strive to further enhance our operating and maintenance performance with the use of technology. We have also signed MOUs with local universities and other institutions to develop more innovative solutions for railway and related businesses. Railway transport is a low-carbon mode of transport. Moreover, the corporation has incorporated green features in the design and planning of future stations and property development projects. We have submitted our 2030 science-based carbon reduction targets for our railway and property businesses in Hong Kong to the Science Based Target Initiative, SBTI, and target to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. And during the year, we completed the chiller replacement program at stations, making passengers' journeys more comfortable and reducing carbon emissions. We installed solar panels at some stations and depots to support the development of renewable energy. We also launched a new retail program, Louder, at our malls to offer young entrepreneurs an integrated online to offline retail platform, promoting the development of innovative businesses and creating more opportunities for the community. We have developed an environmental social governance, ESG investment framework to measure, review, and monitor relevant investment projects, helping the corporation effectively allocate financial resources to appropriate initiatives. The corporation strives to enhance passengers' traveling experience by incorporating artworks into our network to promote public art appreciation. Last year, we collaborated with M+ and local artists to enhance passenger journey experience with world-class artworks and local art production. In addition, the corporation has launched the Legacy Train Revitalization Program, giving retired train cars a second life. We donated retired train components to community partners, which has improved the learning motivations of students with special education needs. Our mainland China and international businesses have achieved steady development. The full line of Beijing Metro Line 16 expected to open this year. Our operating contracts of the Elizabeth Line and South Western Railway in the UK have been extended. After taking into full account of the corporation's financial position and future capital requirements, the board has proposed a final ordinary dividend of 0.89 Hong Kong dollars per share, bringing the total ordinary dividend for the year to $1.31 Hong Kong dollars per share.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 2022, despite the challenges posed by the fifth wave of COVID, MTR colleagues stood united to keep cities moving. In May 2022, the Israel Line extended its service to Hong Kong Island, increasing the connectivity of the railway network. In the same month, in London, a central operating section of the Elizabeth Line operated by the corporation commenced service. Phase 3 of the Beijing Metro Line 16 also started its operations at the end of 2022. In addition, the first of the 93 new Q trains was put into service on the Kwun Tong Line last November. Stepping into 2023, the city is gradually returning to normal. The cross-boundary services of Lok Ma Chau Station, the High-Speed Rail Hong Kong section, and Lo Wu Station have been resumed. The patronage of the Airport Express have also been gradually rebounding since the end of last year. Now I'll talk about our performance last year. In 2022, our recurrent business profit was around 160 million Hong Kong dollars. Property development profit was 10.5 billion Hong Kong dollars, and a loss of 810 million Hong Kong dollars arising from fair value measurement of investment properties was recorded. As a result, the net profit attributable to shareholders of the corporation for the year was 9.8 billion Hong Kong dollars. The EBIT from Hong Kong transport operations recorded a loss of 4.7 billion Hong Kong dollars. In the 3 years of the pandemic, the total EBIT loss of the transport operations has exceeded 14 billion Hong Kong dollars. Our larger than normal property development profit in 2022 came from the booking of profits from a number of property projects, and this profit is non-recurrent. We need to make substantial investments on railway operations and asset maintenance every year, as well as on new railway development to maintain our world-class service. The corporation always strives to support the community. Apart from providing ongoing fare concessions, the corporation also provided additional relief measures for our passengers and tenants during the pandemic. Talking about our railway service, in 2022, we managed to keep train service delivery and passenger journeys on time for our heavy rail network at a world-class level of 99.9%. The first of the new trains that was put into service on the Kwun Tong line last November has provided passengers with an enhanced traveling experience. The signaling system replacement is another important asset renewal project. The corporation is making every effort to push forward the relevant works. The corporation is also moving ahead with new railway projects at an investment of over 100 billion Hong Kong dollars. We signed the project agreement with the government on the Tung Chung Line extension last week. This project, together with Oyster Bay Station, the Tuen Mun South extension, and Gu Tong Station on the Israel Line, are all expected to commence construction this year. The Hong Shek Kiew Station project has been gazetted in February this year. Our team will endeavour to advance these projects in an orderly manner. In respect of property development, we continued the pre-sale of the Southside Packages 1 and 2 and Lohas Park Packages 10 and 11 last year. The contracts for the Park Shing Kok Ventilation Building property development and Tung Chung Traction Substation property development have also been awarded. Subject to market conditions, the Oyster Bay Packages 1 and 2 and the Tung Chung East Station Package 1 development are expected to be tendered in the next 12 months. Over the years, while building railway lines under the Rail Plus Property R+P development model, the corporation has been able to support Hong Kong to build new communities and inject vitality into old districts. Railway constructions requires a substantial and long-term investment. On top of that, we also need to invest on railway operations, maintenance, and asset replacement and upgrades. The R+P model helps the corporation maintain its financial stability and long-term sustainability. Subject to the project requirements and the development strategy of the government, the corporation will adopt the R+P development model or other suitable financing arrangements for the new railway projects. With a commitment to creating a safe, accessible, and customer-centric traveling environment, we have applied technology in our businesses to promote social inclusion and smart mobility. We have also signed MOUs with local universities and other institutions to develop more innovative solutions for railway and related businesses. Railway transport is a low-carbon mode of transport. Moreover, the corporation has incorporated green features in the design and planning of future stations and property development projects. We have submitted our 2030 science-based carbon reduction targets for our railway and property businesses in Hong Kong to the Science Based Targets Initiative, SBTi, and we also target to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. During the year, we completed the chiller replacement program at stations, making passengers' journeys more comfortable and reducing carbon emissions. We installed solar panels at some stations and depots to support the development of renewable energy. We also launched a new retail program, Louder, at our malls to offer young entrepreneurs an integrated online to offline retail platform, and thereby to create more opportunities for the community. We have developed an environmental, social, and governance (ESG) investment framework to help the corporation effectively allocate financial resources to appropriate initiatives. The corporation strives to enhance passengers' traveling experience by incorporating artworks into our network to promote public art appreciation. In addition, the corporation has launched the Legacy Train Revitalization Program to give retired trains a second life and foster social inclusion through collaborations with schools and NGOs. Our mainland China and international business have achieved steady development. The full line of Beijing Metro Line 16 is expected to open this year. Our operating contracts of the Elizabeth Line and South Western Railway in the UK have been extended. After taking into full account the corporation's financial position and future capital requirements, the board has proposed a final ordinary dividend of 89 Hong Kong cents per share, bringing the total ordinary dividend for the year to 1.31 Hong Kong dollars per share. I'll pass to Herbert to report some of our financial highlights.
Thank you, Jacob. Let me highlight our financial results for 2022. Recurrent businesses in Hong Kong and outside of Hong Kong recorded 384 million Hong Kong dollars profit and 227 million Hong Kong dollars loss, respectively, mainly due to the fifth wave of COVID-19 and impairment provision for SZL4. Underlying business profit was 10.6 billion Hong Kong dollars, a 4.6% decrease as compared to last year, mainly due to the lower recurrent business profit. Together with the 810 million Hong Kong dollars loss from fair value measurement of investment properties, net profit attributable to shareholders for 2022 was 9.8 billion Hong Kong dollars. The group's financial position continues to remain healthy, as at the end of December we had cash, bank balances and deposits and undrawn committed facilities totaling over 30 billion Hong Kong dollars. Net debt to equity ratio was 23.3%. The board proposed a final dividend of 89 Hong Kong cents per share, together with a 42 Hong Kong cents interim dividend per share. Full year dividend was 1.31 Hong Kong dollars per share, an increase of 3.1% compared to last year. Turning to our business segmental profits in Hong Kong, EBIT from our transport operations was a loss of 4.7 billion Hong Kong dollars, mainly due to the adverse impact of the fifth wave of COVID-19 in early 2022. Our station commercial EBIT decreased 8.8%, a result of lower advertising revenue and negative rental reversions due to the pandemic. And duty-free shops remain closed as a result of the closure of boundary crossing stations. Property rental and management business EBIT decreased by 6.1% due to negative rental reversions. Outside of Hong Kong, EBIT of our mainland China and international subsidiaries increased due to higher contributions from Australia. Moving on to our consolidated statement of financial position. Total assets increased by $35 billion to 327 billion Hong Kong dollars, mainly due to the addition of Oyster Bay Property Development and Tai Wai Shopping Mall. Total liabilities increased by 35 billion Hong Kong dollars to 147 billion Hong Kong dollars, mainly due to the corresponding accounting treatment relating to Oyster Bay project and increase in borrowings. As such, total equity remained at around 180 billion Hong Kong dollars. Turning to cash flows, our operating activities generated 6.8 billion Hong Kong dollars of inflow. Net receipts from property developments was 4.9 billion Hong Kong dollars, net of capex and others. Our cash inflow before financing was close to 0.5 billion Hong Kong dollars. After dividend payment, net debt drawdown and others, the decrease in cash was 4.8 billion Hong Kong dollars. On our financing and credit ratios, Total group borrowings increased by 4.1 billion Hong Kong dollars to $47.8 billion. The Fed raised interest rates several times during the year. 70% of our borrowings were in fixed rates, which helps to mitigate the adverse impact of such interest rate hikes. Average borrowing cost for 2022 was 2.5%, representing an increase of 0.3 percentage points as compared to last year. Net debt to equity ratio was 23.3%, representing an increase of 5.2 points, mainly due to land premium payment for Oyster Bay property development. Our interest coverage was 14.2 times. On our 3-year capex plan, total capex from 2023 to 2025 is estimated to be 65.2 billion Hong Kong dollars, of which 59% or 38 billion Hong Kong dollars will be used for Hong Kong railway maintenance capex. This is higher than previous years, mainly due to several railway system maintenance and asset replacement projects are taking place at the same time, including trains, signaling, and power systems. 24% will be used for new Hong Kong railway projects, including the newly signed Oyster Bay Station and Tung Chung Line extension projects. 6% for mainland China and overseas investments, and 11% for Hong Kong property. With that, I will hand back to Jacob to go through our outlook. Thank you, Herbert. With our city moving towards normality, transport demand by local passengers and visitors is increasing gradually. The Hong Kong economy is also recovering, which will benefit the future development of our corporation. Next year, the MTR Corporation will have been serving Hong Kong for 45 years. We will continue to invest into replacing and upgrading railway assets, as well as building new railway lines to support the future development of Hong Kong. Fare revenue is still a major source of stable revenue. The fare revenue has dropped substantially over the 3 years of the pandemic. The corporation is reviewing the fare adjustment mechanism, and we have listened carefully the views and concerns of the community. We will continue to communicate closely with the government, and the review is expected to be concluded in the first half of this year. In the next 3 years, we need to invest over 10 billion Hong Kong dollars on average every year on railway asset replacement and upgrades, while the annual expenditure on regular maintenance exceeds 5 billion Hong Kong dollars. In the next 10 years or so, the corporation will invest over 100 billion Hong Kong dollars on new railway projects under the Railway Development Strategy 2014 and the Oyster Bay project. The Tung Chung Line extension, Kutong Station on the East Rail Line, Oyster Bay Station, Tuen Mun South Extension projects are expected to commence construction this year. And the corporation will also support the government's Northern Metropolis development strategy and the 3 strategic railways proposed in the 2022 policy address to further expand the rail network and support the sustainable development of the community. With respect to property development, our 2 new malls, the Y atop Tai Wai Station, the South Side atop Wong Chuk Hang Station, are expected to open this year. The new Oyster Bay project will provide about 20,000 public and private housing units. The project will incorporate green and smart concepts so as to develop a low-carbon economy, and subject to market conditions, in the next 12 months or so, we expect to tender out Oyster Bay Packages 1 and 2 and the Tung Chung East Station Package 1 property development. Subject to construction and sale progress, we anticipate initial property development profit booking from Lohas Park Package 11 and the Southside Package 4 and Ho Man Tin Station Package 2. We'll continue to explore opportunities on railways and properties overseas and in the mainland of China, including the Guangdong, Hong Kong, Macau, Greater Bay Area. Finally, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to my colleagues for their hard work and dedication in serving the public over the last 3 years amid the pandemic. Looking forward, the corporation will continue to offer customer-centric services in order to keep cities moving and go smart, go beyond with the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kam. We'll now have the Q&A session. If you have any questions, please raise your hand and also tell us your name and the organization you represent before you speak. The lady in white sitting in the middle. I'm from Now TV. Question for the management. Now that the border has now been reopened and we have now an increase in human traffic, regarding the rental income and also what is the projected increase in the passenger numbers and when will we be able to go back to the pre-pandemic level? And for the Oyster Bay level, will you be launching the project again this year? Thank you for the question. Since the beginning of this year, when the border was reopened, we have seen that passenger patronage has been steadily improving. I think our local patronage is now back to 90% of the pre-pandemic level, together with the high-speed railway, the AEL, patronage. By the end of February, it's already back to about 50% of the pre-pandemic level, and it's also steadily increasing. So the trend it's very good. If I may now invite Ms. Jenny Yang, who is responsible for our transport services, who will tell you about our station commerce and operation results. As Dr. Kam has said, we've seen that of the several border crossing points, passenger traffic is steadily increasing. At the end of February, it's about 50%, and we expect that it will steadily continue to go up. I believe that because of the increase in the human traffic, our station commercial revenue, including advertising revenue, we are seeing a gradual recovery compared with the pandemic period. So we're seeing that the business is gradually recovering. If you look at the high-speed railway, on Saturday this week, we will be resuming most, traffic to most of the stations in Guangdong, and so we hope that the trend will continue. As for Oyster Bay, perhaps I will ask Mr. Tang David Tang to answer the question. Well, thank you. Regarding the Oyster Bay project, we are now still conducting our research. We are closely monitoring the market environment, and we are now reviewing what the tendering arrangement will be. It is our plan now that we will invite tender again during the course of this year. With the lady in white at the back. Commercial radio. Last year, how much was the MTRC fined because of the delay in traffic? You said that you are reviewing the FAM. Some electoral members have suggested that you should adjust the FAM so that the more profits you make, then the lower should be the fare adjustment.
Thank you for the questions. Now, first of all, on FAM, the fare adjustment mechanism, this is a transparent and open and public and foreseeable predictable formula, and it has been agreed with the government. And in the past few years, we see that the mechanism had been effective. 3 years in the past, there had not been any fare upward adjustments. Actually, there was 1 year where the fare was downward adjusted. And also during the COVID time, we also see in other cities, the fares for other rail systems had drastically been reduced, and at the end the government had to provide increased subsidies, or later on they had to increase the fare substantially. But in Hong Kong, because we have the R++ PPP model. That's why our finances are healthy and strong, even though we have some $14 billion loss. But every year, we still have $2 billion plus fare concessions offered to the Hong Kong community. And during the pandemic, we have had special concessions given to the passengers as well as to our rental customers. And we will continue with the review of the FAM once every 5 years. And within the year, we will have a new completion of the discussion with the government.
What is the MTR position on the through train services? Will it be consigned to history? And also about the fare adjustment, about the review of the fare adjustment mechanism, what is the MTR position, and will there be more chances? Would there be chances of returning more profits to the public? Thank you.
Thank you. For the mainland through trains, as now we actually know that the high-speed rail service actually covers all the destinations in the mainland through trains. So at present, there is no plan to resume that service. As for the FAM, the fare adjustment mechanism, the mechanism itself is an open, transparent, predictable mechanism based on published government statistics to calculate fare adjustment amount. And having considered the affordability factor of our citizens, you can actually see that the mechanism has worked well. For example, in the last few years, there were 3 years that we did not have any fare increase, and in fact, in 1 year, we had a fare reduction as a result of the mechanism. And when we look at, in the years of the pandemic, when we look at the other railways in other cities, because of the significant loss in fare revenue, they ended up either raising their fare, or they have to get additional subsidies, large amount of subsidies from the local governments. And for us, because of the rail property model, despite the 14 billion Hong Kong dollars loss in our railway operations, we still have a stable financial position. In addition, we are able to maintain our 2-point-something billion dollars every year's fare concession. And in addition, we have provided special relief measures during the pandemic. And we are now still reviewing the FAM with government. We are hoping to complete the review by the middle of the year.
Thank you, Dr. Kam.
Next. I'm from Ming Pao. Regarding the new projects you plan to launch this year, what is the total number of units involved? And during this period, say for this year, for your rental business, now that the economy is recovering, do you expect that there will be an adjustment in the rental income? And secondly, regarding the booking of your investment properties, I note that point 5 of the press release, that is regarding the fair value adjustment of the investment properties. Previously, this was booked into the basic profit column, but in the last couple of times, it has taken out from column 5. Now, with such an arrangement, will it affect the data upon which you calculate the basic profits or underlying profit?
Right. On rentals, perhaps Mr. Tang can answer that question. Well, thank you for the question. Well, actually, we are closely monitoring the market situation. Our plan right now is in the next 12 months or so for Oyster Bay Package 1 and 2, and also for Tung Chung Project Package 1, we will be tendering. So altogether, there will be 4,500 units altogether. And for rentals, as we see that the border is opening and there is a cancellation of the mask order, so we do see in the shopping malls there is an increase in traffic, significant increase. And in the different sectors, yes, including high-end, more local or more community-based shopping malls, we see that across the board. And it's difficult to say what the situation will be like as tourism comes back and the economy comes back, but I am cautiously optimistic. Our rental clients, for many of them, I would say their business have been really picking up. And the rental markets for the shopping mall, you see from our reports, it is 100%. So in the portfolio, perhaps there would be one or two shop fronts which are not rented out. So it is optimistic. Right. For your second point, there is no cash flow impact whatsoever. And Herbert, would you want to supplement? Well, yes, Jacob. Now, you mentioned the shopping mall, mainly for Taiwan this year. And there is also the Wong Chuk Hang shopping mall. For booking of these properties, it is in the fair value calculation of investment properties. And this is totally in line with accounting standards. Thank you very much. The next question at the corner there, the lady in black, please.
Questions from RTHK. Like you mentioned, that services reached half of the pre-pandemic levels. So do you have a forecast for the coming year? Like when do you expect it to return to pre-pandemic levels? And also with the recovery from the pandemic, how is the border reopening helping MTR patronage and also other revenues? And also a last question, like there are quite a few incidents, like the MTR incidents last year. So do you think the incidents play a part, like do they contribute to a loss in the fare revenue as well? Thank you.
Dr. Kam, please.
Yeah, thank you. For the patronage, as I reported earlier, the domestic patronage, the local traffic, I believe has been benefited by the opening of the boundary, and the domestic traffic has returned to over 90% of the pre-pandemic level. And for the cross-boundary, including Lower Lok Ma Chau and high-speed rail and the Airport Express line, has returned to around 50% of the pre-pandemic level. And the overall trend is encouraging. It is still rising, but of course, we hope this trend will continue. In terms of the way that we maintain our railway assets, we pay a lot of attention in the maintenance of our asset, keeping the railway at its top performance. For example, we every year in our regular maintenance, in our recurrent maintenance costs, we spend more than 5 billion Hong Kong dollars every year on the regular maintenance. And in the next few years, we will be adding over 10 billion Hong Kong dollars every year of capital investment in improving, replacing and upgrading our assets. We will continue to improve our performance.
Thank you, Dr. Kam. Next question. 後邊白色衫外套嗰位女士。
The lady in white at the back. 香港新華社㗎，想問楊美珍女士。
請問喺媒體訪問嘅時候，你講到八達通全國通卡可能喺下個季度推出。And this will cover 320 cities for your Octopus card going national. But I know that some of the public transport systems have not been made open for Octopus card yet. So I would like to know from you what is the progress of Octopus card project. Can you give us more information concerning this? Now, before Jenny answers the question, perhaps I should just say that in January of this year, Jenny Yeung has become the chair of Octopus Company, and we have been putting in more resources to improve our service overall. But I have to say that Octopus Company is a separate company. It is not the MTR company. And perhaps Jenny can share a little bit about the Octopus card. Well, thank you for your question. I will just very briefly talk about the nationwide projects that we have. In 320 cities nationwide, the card can be used in rail, in public transport such as buses as well. And basically, this is to link up with the mainland transport network. And this is a cooperation with the mainland regulatory body. And this new product we hope to be able to introduce in the first half of this year. Next question. Anybody else? At the back, the lady in white, please.
From information, so the management mentioned that the MTR will seek opportunities outside Hong Kong. So, what types of projects or countries that the company is going to look at? And also in Europe, there was some people saying that MTR is considering the sale of its Swedish train business. So, how do you see the possibility of asset sales outside Hong Kong? Thank you.
Right. We have been operating in Australia and Europe, including Sweden and UK, for many years now, and we have some very successful businesses, including the latest, the Elizabeth Line in UK, which is very welcomed by our users, by our customers in London. We'll continue to look at possible expansion possibilities in the existing countries that we have a presence, but we'll also be open to other business development opportunities.
好，咁或者我哋最後一位問題啊，最後一條問題。
Perhaps you can take one last question. The gentleman in white at the back. I'm from cable TV. First of all, the high-speed railway will resume services to Chiu Chau and Swat Tau, but the service to Swat Tau has been delayed for 1 day. Why didn't you choose another day so that you can have resumption on the same day? In April, can you fully resume the long-haul service? At the end of last year, there were 2 incidents involving derailment. Has the government and the MTRC has set up a task group to conduct a review regarding the management of the railway system? What are some of the preliminary, findings and recommendations for improvement? I'll talk about the railway asset, and Jenny will talk about to answer your second question. Regarding our railway operations and maintenance, we attach a lot of importance to our railway assets, its maintenance and repair, as well as investment and enhancement. Every year on daily maintenance and repair, we spend more than $5 billion per annum. And in the next few years, our capital investments will be more than $10 billion every year, so totaling $15 billion, which will be used to actually maintain and upgrade our assets. And because of the investments and the work that we do, say last year we have had 2.5 million trips. Most of the trips were smoothly run, but we're still seeking to further improve our services. We've conducted our asset review, and it is our plan that within 6 months we will be, completing our review of our asset management regime. It is our target that on April 1st, we'll be able to resume all the long-haul, frequencies. And regarding the train to Swat Tau on 11th of March, that is normal train deployment. Given such a large network, sometimes before sometimes there will be some, deployment, before, train services begin. So I think with that, we've come to the close of our results announcement today. Thank you very much for coming.